YouTube, I'm about to get into it. I'm about to talk about Zurdo Ramirez versus David Benavidez. And y'all, on this channel, we like to try to make the most accurate predictions that we can. A lot of guys, they do, place bets, they place parlays and wagers, and it's my job to try to, guide you into the correct decision so you don't, waste your money and, end up, paying for stuff that just don't make sense. We want to make sure we bet smart. So let's get into this. David Benavidez versus Zurdo Ramirez. So, David Benavidez, everybody who watch boxing know who David Benavidez is. This man is a dog in the ring. This man, he just tries to run you over. He don't like to, play boxing. He just likes to fight. This man, with David Benavidez, he tries to get stoppages. He really rarely let it goes to the judges, the scorecard. Let's deal with Zurdo Ramirez. So I checked the betting sites, and a lot of people are, of course they got David Benavidez winning this fight, but also, a lot of people are thinking that, Zurdo Ramirez will survive this fight. They thinking that it's going to go to, the 12th round, with Zurdo Ramirez losing a decision. Y'all gotta realize that David Benavidez is a strong finisher. He rarely ever let these guys get to the end of the bell. The people that's like betting on Ramirez to survive this fight, and it's wrong. They could be right. A little bit. But, if you want to make the correct, more accurate bet, I would say, David Benavidez to stoppage. I mean, let's look at his box rec, Ramirez, he has 49 bouts. He's a southpaw. He stands at 6'2" and a half. He has, reaches 75. His last fight, June 25, was with Junio Dorticos. November 24th was Chris William Smith. He also fought Arsen Galamirian March 24th, and October 23rd, Joe Smith Jr. Followed by November 22nd, Dimitri Bivol, which is his only loss. If you look at all of his opponents, I'm looking at all his opponents, and I'm gonna be honest with y'all guys, I don't recognize nobody on this list.
I don't give a fuck.
I mean, I recognize a few. I mean, Joe Smith, I recognize Joe Smith, a few other fighters, of course, Dimitri Bivol, the guy who beat him. Dimitri Bivol is a dog, but I see a lot of wins of fighters that we don't know about. So, when he tried to step up and fight Dimitri Bivol, he lost a decision unanimously. I feel like Oscar De La Hoya has been, protecting him. I feel like he's been protecting his career. He hasn't really been putting him in, very dangerous fights, and I feel like it's bad now because he's getting put in there with David Benavidez, a guy who typically runs people over, and I feel like, Ramirez, Zurdo, a guy who he has grit. He's never been stopped. He has heart, but he's flat-footed. He don't have that much of experience fighting, dangerous fighters. And I feel like when he get in the ring with David Benavidez, David Benavidez is gonna pressure him. He's gonna make him sweat, make him tired. If you watch the fight with him and Dimitri Bivol was tagging him up, but Dimitri likes to back up back off. He likes to box, make it look pretty. David Benavidez not going to do that. David Benavidez is going to try to hurt this guy. He's going to try to knock this guy clean out. If you want to win some money, if you want to go with the right person, you go with the right bet, I got, David Benavidez by TKO stoppage.
But Shakur, that guy will put anybody to sleep outside the ring.